That's right. Welcome back to episode 13 of Rinkside. Happy Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year, to all our Rinkside viewers out there. It's been a sweet year so far. I've definitely been drizzling on the honey on my apples. Chewy, what's been going down? It's been about a week hiatus since we've met up.
Yeah, that's I don't even know what to do with that intro. That was crazy. Yeah, things are going not bad over here. If for I guess for anyone who are parents, and they understand the how daycare works. I guess when you put your kids in daycare, they get like sick like 1,000 times. So my kids are sick. We're sick for the third time. Um, that was yeah, it's been interesting. They've perpetually always have a runny nose. So as much as daycare is fun to bring them to, they're just always sick. So we're dealing with that. I also got a couple new cards I'm gonna put up today. So we got another Rinkside signings. One of my favorite players,
Ooh,
Gustav Nyquist. So we're gonna add that to the collection, and then two Anthony Mantha cards there with some jerseys, patches in
ooh.
them. So happy with those. And yeah, that's been my week. How about you? How's Potty's Corner? You look like you're in a different scene today.
Yeah, I'm holding it down in Oak Park, just a little suburb outside of Chicago where I grew up in the mean streets over here. This is where we hold it down. I've had a good time. I was actually in Austin for a wedding in I don't remember, like last weekend or something. There was like the Burton Springs or the Benton Springs, but it was like this massive pool, but it wasn't really a pool. It was like a natural rock you know opening in the
Okay.
ground with water, and
Okay.
there wasn't like concrete on the bottom. There was like moss, but there was diving boards. It was like 300 meters tall. It was so cool. Might have been called
That's
Barton Springs.
all right. Barton
Yeah.
Springs. For anyone
Yeah.
who's near Houston, check that
Yes.
out. Let
Au-
us know.
Austin, Texas, but
Austin. Sorry,
close
not
enough.
you. Sweet.
Awesome. Yeah, so we've got a packed program for you. Actually, not super packed. It's pretty lightly packed today, but we got some really interesting things that I think you're going to like. We've got, talking about the standings, got a special on slowness. We've got our plays of the week and a little special segment from the community at the end. But let's turn our attention over, unless you had anything you wanted to add here, Chewy. Um,
Uh, no, no. Actually, well, I was gonna say we could talk about House of Dragons, but I haven't actually watched since like the last episode, so I'm not up to date. Some stuff got spoiled, which I'm sure everyone's seen at this point, but I haven't watched that episode, so I don't wanna talk about it right now. How are you
yeah,
caught up?
my girlfriend who I watch it with is in Italy for the next 2 weeks, and she 2.5 weeks. So she's requested that I not watch House of the Dragon
Uh,
or the Rings of Power, without her, and wait till she comes back. So I can
okay.
do that. I can do that.
All right. So then maybe next episode we'll talk a little bit about it if we all catch up. Or I guess she's gone. So that maybe in a few
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah. So yeah, I'm out of the picture right now but it's been a really good season so far. Speaking of seasons, why don't we turn our attention to the current standings?
All right. Yeah, so I guess let's quickly go over. We haven't talked about standings at all this season, and we obviously had our ringside predictions, and we had the panel on who they think would be around the top and who would be around the bottom. So, Potty, is there any surprises for you on the standings? Is there any teams that should be lower than, or you thought they'd be lower than where they are, or they should be higher where they actually are?
I thought Honolulu would be a little bit higher than where they are right now in what, third to bottom place. I thought they'd be more of a mid tier with like the whole transition to a new place. Let's see, Rome is only a little bit higher, so I guess with rebranding, it doesn't necessarily change a whole lot. I don't know exactly where they were positioned in the past, but I don't think that they were in dead bottom. It looks like they must have fallen. Is that an accurate observation?
Yeah, they were fighting for playoffs last year for a little bit at the end there, and the season before I think they were like 1 point away, like when Turku beat Florence they took Glasgow at the time spot. So they've been in and around there, but I know Triple H has turned things around. They had a good week last week, so they're actually one of the
Mhm.
teams that I think will be a lot higher. And I mean, though the team that we all have been asking about, Florence, the team that splashed this free
Oh,
agency,
where are they? I can't see them.
and yeah, they're cut off right at the bottom of the screen there. Only on a one-game losing streak though, so they did have a win last week, which is awesome. They're 2-9-1. It's a head scratcher for me. I mean, they brought in a better goalie. They brought in a couple defense. They brought in some top top sniper in Nordstrom. So it's just weird to see it. It could be a lineup thing. I mean, when you bring in a whole new team, sometimes strats change. Yeah, the strats will change, the lineups will change. So I think they're just figuring it out. I have no doubt they'll move back up. But it's cool to see some of the expansion teams, San Diego up there, right ahead of Albuquerque, based off of tiebreakers.
Hmm.
We got
Boston.
Boston. Reed is the owner this season, so he's started to turn things around, which is awesome to see. Melbourne, the infamous Martyrs, are doing pretty decent with almost like a quarter of a new squad. And if we look at the top, I think my biggest surprise at the top would be Jacksonville. I
Oh
know
yeah.
this isn't up to date. I know Monday they went 8-0 win against Honolulu, so their goal difference obviously looks better now. But being one of the best offensive teams this season, or last season, and then losing three in a row, I mean, could just be a bad week. But uh, it's interesting. I wonder if it's just testing out new strats this season, or just a series of bad games. But I don't think they'll fall too much farther.
Mm. Yes, and for their sake, I hope they don't. They're getting kind of low in the trail. If this were a newspaper, may not even be on the front cover. You'd have to like open it up, and they'd be down there on the second half. But congrats to the challengers, Las Vegas, Dublin, the top three. Or I guess top two, right? If we're tied. Um, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We'll go over the standings maybe every week or every other week. Um, but it'll be interesting to see where things go for
Yes.
sure.
All right. Any other comments on the standings, or should we shift over to the slowest team in the league?
No, let's head over and see how their speed affects their position in the standings.
All right. Well, I actually have to flip right back to that other screen. I can't edit it, so we're going back. But let's pull it up. Here it is, right there for the world to see. We've got the rankings of the teams by speed. And so what we're looking at right now is you can see that there are three kind of columns to this. And within each column, there's a rank column, a a variable named speed or offensive awareness, defensive awareness, and then a cap. And to the right is like the cap percentage of it. So what we're looking at right now, you can see like green means it's like the highest. So Turku has the highest speed amongst all teams in the league. Whereas who is the slowest team in terms of speed? Well, mighty Melbourne themselves, 1581 is where they sit. So we thought, speed might mean something different than just like how quickly you get from one place to another. What if we were to measure how quickly you get from like one thought to another or a thought to an outcome? And we thought, all right, let's measure offensive awareness. And so, and we'll circle back to the speed, but I just wanted to showcase this one. The highest offensive awareness of any teams is actually with Tennessee, and
Hmm.
the lowest still Melbourne. But you can see that offensive awareness, Tennessee was really high up there. And I want to show another one, and we can come back to this. But let's see, Albuquerque defensive awareness highest in all of it, and again Melbourne at the bottom with 16. So I guess like we answered the question of like who is the slowest team in goals by all means and measures. It's Melbourne. Um, what does that really mean? You know, Chewy, when you look at like a cap percent, so you look at what the aggregate total points that players have invested into a category, and then you look at the cap and you compare those two numbers, and you have something like 94.44%. What does that mean to you as kind of like a general manager, co-team owner? What does that mean for that, stat and the potential that it holds?
Yeah, so just I mean it's kind of self-explanatory there, but like so obviously you're it's just how far away I guess you are from capping out your team speed. So if we're looking at for example can you sort the speed again
Yes.
the
A speed.
yeah. So for example, Turku, fastest team in the league, obviously 1735 total attributes in it, but they're actually not the highest cap percent. So that would be Jacksonville, meaning that they theoretically, if all the players started progressing speed on both teams, Jacksonville would max out quicker. Um, but if they both maxed out, Turku would still be a faster team.
Hmm.
Uh, Interesting, I guess. I'd say looking at it, I mean, if we compare, like, if you kind of jumbled it with like offensive awareness or acceleration or other stats, you could kind of start putting together, you know, um, what strats may work against certain teams.
Mm.
So, Norfolk being the slowest team, maybe you run a run and gun offense against them because, their defense might not be able to keep up. Whereas Jacksonville and Turku being the fastest teams, Turku being the second in offensive awareness, maybe you want to play a little more passive,
Mm.
let them come to you, and then trap them into the neutral zone or at the end of your zone. Yeah, it's interesting. I think um, I think the defensive awareness may not play as much of a factor as people think, just based off the rankings. Um, Maybe it will actually, because all the top teams kind of are at the top ranks. But offensive awareness, I mean, Tennessee, you know, is number one in offensive awareness, but kind of at the bottom half of the standings. And then, you have the top teams. Florence is seventh in offensive awareness, and they can't seem to score. So
Hmm.
it'll be interesting. Maybe we could tie these like offensive awareness to shooting, and then see how that compares in like the shooting percent one day. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let us know what you think about the chart. We'll post it on the Twitter. But is there anything else, Potty, you kind of came up with looking at this?
No, I think that was the revelations with like the Tennessee and Albuquerque. I thought, oh, those are interesting. Didn't think about them. If there are people out there that like to do data stuff, analysts, tell us about. We've got a vacancy here. Rinkside analyst.
Yeah, there's a
um,
spot right below me
yeah.
that not that someone needs to sit. But
uh,
actually, really quick, before one thing I guess that a lot of owners and players sometimes think like they look at overall and they think, oh, because we have a lower overall, we're going to lose. This just goes to show you. I mean, it's just three attributes, but Melbourne 16th in all three. Um, but I think they're 12th or 11th in the standings. So strats play a big part. Other attributes definitely play a big part. Line matchups. So just something to think about. I mean, yeah, Melbourne and Boston, they're doing a lot better than this chart would show. So
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go. All right. So that was pretty cool. All right. So now let's move over to our plays of the week. So I pulled this up. I also pulled up this other thing. Um, number one. All right. So these are our plays of the week. So we got Phillips coming in and gets demolished on a hit, but still serves up an assist. Conrad, I thought this, as well as Scurvy Dog, thought this was a worthy play of the week. Next up.
Yeah, Triple H sent this one, and I loved this one. Fury just backhands it from at the top of the hash marks. This is some Sidney Crosby shot. The strength in that backhand was amazing. Going top corner. You love to see goals like this, and this was a Rome win too.
Rome, when it was all roads lead back to Rome, and all face-offs in Dublin zone typically end in Rosca Santagria, slappers from the edge of that, dot. But I thought this was an impressive one, and hopefully won't happen to us again. But got to respect the play when it occurs.
Yeah. Tie it up, bring it to overtime. That was a good one. Next up, we got in the same game, Bear with his second goal. Unfortunately, San Diego tried to make a pass to Paulie. He couldn't catch it. Or Paulie tried to make a pass, sorry. And Bear punishes them for that mistake.
Yes, for his 100th goal. Um, so next we've got Tater Slice playing Demars. Oh, and look at this. If you look at Tater Slice, look at the haircut. We got the pigtails, kind of looks like Geralt of Rivia, some like Witcher stuff right here. But if we get another close up, or there's the hit, and then here comes the most magical punch. Oh wow! Just right under the chin, to sleep. All right, here we go. Next up is you.
Yeah, so we got a Scola. He opens his account here with a nice little windmill. Man, San Diego is still skating to that corner. They have no idea where the puck is. Look at this. Oh, turns around and it was too late. Lassick couldn't do anything about that. The defense couldn't do anything about that.
Yes, what a beauty that one was, and I hopefully he had a secure transaction with his account and didn't leave that information public. All right, so next up we've got a shot onto Boston and Green to Posey, and as somebody put a howitzer, like one of those German missile launchers, or maybe it's like a cannon or something. But
I
great,
think it's a
great,
cannon, but
yeah,
yeah,
big
that
shot.
angle was insane for sure. You don't
Yes.
you don't see goals from there.
Ooh, yes. All right,
and
and last.
yeah,
Oh,
don't blink here because you'll miss the goal. But ex Warsaw Warlock Mikkonen strips his old teammate and just puts it right past Duncan. Did you blink? Because if you did, you missed it. We'll watch it one more time. Steals it, goes in, gives Duncan the 1-2. Boom.
boom! Wow. All right, and those were our plays of the week. So, uh, what's next for Rinkside? What do we got here? We got 100 people subscribed. We got hundreds of views. Where are we taking this, Chewy?
Yeah, so we knew it would be a little shorter episode, and we put out into our Discord. People asked some questions, and let's see what we got. I got them pulled up here. If you want to pull them up, that works too. I'll rifle them off in any. Yeah, and we'll go from there. Anyways, the first question, I'll give this one to you. We got Robert Thump asks, "Why is Matt a Cowboys fan, and how do we get him the help he needs to stop?" I'm not a football fan, but I think you might be able to help me answer that one.
I don't know. I don't, Cowboys fan that's from Texas. I enjoyed the cuisine when I was in Texas. I enjoyed those Barton Springs. But I don't know where the Cowboys are from. Where's that?
I don't,
Houston
Texas,
Cowboys? Yeah,
Houston,
Houston Cowboys.
Houston
Yeah.
Texans. I don't
So
know.
that's like out of my. I'm not able to answer this. So I think it's
Dallas
good.
Cowboys. We got the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, the Dallas Cowboys. Wow, I'm terrible. So
We
yeah,
don't even.
that's
Yeah. All right. That was. This just goes to show you, Matt. We don't even know where the Cowboys are from. Cheer for another team.
all right. Here we got a good one. How did this league form? From Kevin
Yeah.
Jiggins.
So if you watch the first episode with Krieg, he definitely answered that. But if I can quickly summarize it, him and a friend at the time were in a football league. They were chatting, both ex-military guys, I guess, and they were just like, "Yo, what if we start a hockey league?" And they're like, "Sure." And then one day they just put together a hockey league, and 600 members later, 16 pro teams, 8 minors teams. We're here. It's crazy how an idea can can turn into that.
And it's still open and waiting for you if you just now, if you're like, wow, I wonder what goals is, so I'm going to watch, you know, 20 minutes and 16 seconds into this, podcast about it. uh,
Exactly.
but you can still join. It's still open to everyone. All right, what was the next question you saw on that list?
Yeah, yeah. So from Tyler Grims, is there any team that is having a slow start to their season that will potentially turn their season around? We went over this, but what do you think? The number one team that'll turn it around,
Ooh, who's at the bottom?
Florence.
Lawrence will turn it around.
I agree. Yeah, and
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
all right. Okay.
Well, we got
Or
Vincent Constantino goes, how did you get so many people to join the league? And this is cool, actually. We had a few people do a lot of recruiting for us. A big shout out to John Fowler. He did two like recruiting booms essentially and got us a ton of people. Most recently, I think Nathaniel Ironsides and RJ Corker have got a lot of people to join. And what's really cool is a lot of people joining is just word of mouth. So from other sim leagues, Goals was promoted, they join, and it's really cool because then a lot of players who go pro or minors know a lot of people in the team. So we started going on to Reddit now and other forums. So that's brought in a few people, but pretty much all word of mouth. I think we paid for a few like uh, exposures on other sim leagues, but that's about it. Do you got the next question, or do you want me to read it off to you?
yeah, what the fuck up is up with Florence?
What the fuck? Yeah, yeah. We no idea what's going on there. But Nikolai Redding, or here, Trevor Lopez. We'll go with this one. You can answer this. Is there any team having a strong start to the season that you think is going to fall off? If you
Ooh, that's
remember
gonna
any of the
fall off.
standings,
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's going to fall off. All right.
Uh,
Body's body's right now scrolling through this Discord and he has no idea what's going on. That's okay. I'm gonna go with San Diego. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Matt. Uh, you guys are just doing really well, but that's not a bad thing. That just means you're proving us wrong. And why don't you scroll up a little bit and you'll find it. But the next question we got here is from Nikolai Redding. Which team is considered the most overrated slash underrated?
in the league, man, these are
Yeah.
hard. The most overrated would be
Do you want me to answer that? I think we
yeah.
lost Potty.
I think the
I think.
underrated would be Austin's underrated, but
Yeah.
overrated's hard to say.
Yeah. That is a tough one. I mean, there's not really an overrated team because all the good teams are actually good. I don't know. I guess you could say like I don't know Alaska, but they won a cup, so it's like I don't know. How do you call them overrated when they win a cup?
Yeah. Um,
Uh, yeah. Do you want me to keep rifling these questions off?
is there any more that you think are worthy, or did we get our fill?
I think there was a couple good ones.
Okay.
I'll Joey Rab. After 3+ weeks, I guess we kind of answered this. Have any Rinkside predictions changed, or is there a surprise you didn't see coming? We kind of went up with that. Went already with that. Early playoff predictions. Why don't you give us your lock for the playoffs? Give us three teams that are locked for the playoffs, Potty.
Challengers, Dublin, Finns.
All right. Dublin's challenges Finns. Yeah, can't argue with that one.
I
And
think they might
I
be the
think
top three as well. So.
yeah, at the top three right now, yeah, it's challenges Las Vegas, Dublin, Alaska, Turku,
Okay.
and then are Leighton Lee and Leathers the same person? So a little joke. I don't know. They were created exactly the same. So when Grims did the graphics, it was literally like cutting the same person. And that's pretty much all the questions that we got. But that was pretty cool. Maybe we'll do it a little earlier so we can, rifle through the questions before the video.
Yes.
But one thing that that we will do next episode, we'll do it. So we're going to start doing our top fives. We'll put out a list in the Discord, and you guys can vote on which top fives we do next week. So it'll be like, what's your top five video games or top five songs, artists, movies, stuff like that. Just to kind of keep it casual, learn more about yours truly co-hosts, Potty Potty and Chewy. And yeah, if you have any questions, shoot them in the comments in the YouTube, and we'll answer those next video too. What do you think?
That sounds great to me. Keep it engaged, keep it, from the heart and keep connected. This is Rinkside, episode 13, chiming you out.